Hello everybody and welcome back to Cities Skylines 2, where I don't have a new mouse yet. However, I've gotten it mostly working. The new mouse will come in and we'll probably switch to it. For now, it's mostly in a functional state. It's a little flaky, no doubt about it, and we might run into some issues, but it should be broadly okay to proceed. So, if I recall correctly, we had just finished up this area down over here, and we were kind of keeping an eye on traffic for the moment, and keeping an eye on our demand. I do see medium density residential demand creeping up, so we may want to consider extending these roads out over here, which would ultimately end up meaning bringing this road up to be... That's only 102 meters? Okay. Let's have this lock in here. We want it to be angled for specifically... So it would be, like, up here, right? It would be. Right here. Yeah. This would be correct. So we'll just bring this right on over here for now. That'll be fine. And these are going to have to get redirected. That's understood. We will do that in a moment. So for the moment, I want to bring this guy up another 112 meters. We'll have this be locked only to angle because that's definitely the best way to go about this, it seems. And that'll be right here, and we'll just bring this guy in to the city limits. Okay, so that is 3 roads. We need 4 and then the highway. So we'll bring this guy up 112 meters, which is actually right here. And we can then just bring that right on over like so. Cool. So the next one would normally be this highway, but I'm going to bring up one additional. This will be 240 meters. Or right there. You know what? I'm going to do a correction here. And that correction will be that. Then we're going to bring this over to be about there. That should be relatively straight. Let's run a road through here and see. It's not exactly. Okay. Let's do this differently then. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to build a random road here. And then we're going to take this out on angle snap only, bringing this in here, and then bringing it out this way. On angle snap only. This road should now be straight relative to this road. We can get rid of this street. And of course, this intersection is slightly janky, and we can bring that up as well. So this is going to probably demolish a couple of these houses, but eminent domain, right? So that's absolutely fine. Beautiful. Okay, so this out over here should be low density housing. We'll just do something like that. Okay. Now we're going to need to bring these roads up. Now, this one is not going to be extended from here, obviously. We're going to need to grab this starting point and then just have it truncate there for the moment due to that school. But other than that, we can just bring this right on up. That looks good. Absolutely straight. No problems. So we can bring this guy up here. I'm not sure that this is perfectly straight. It's close enough. And then we'll bring this one up. So that'll go here, 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 and finally here. That is close enough to straight. Absolutely. And then this road. Excellent. Yep, right about there. So there's all of our, like, awkward streets. And then as far as this goes, we're going to take back these. This is going to demolish some of these houses. Definitely. And then we're going to need to go underneath here and just bring this up. And we're doing a small correction here. Okay. So that'll just be a little bit crooked as we go through there. This will have to be rezoned, of course, and some of these houses are going to cease to exist, but that's fine. We'll just bring that on down. Now, this over here, I'm actually making medium density housing for this particular meta block, And that's because we're seeing our demand for that creeping up. So this is all going to be medium density. And then we can bring in our highways. So that'll be a 4-lane, 2-way highway. And that will be starting at 10 meters. I want this to be snapping only to angle for right now. And we'll see how straight this appears to be. It actually looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm not too concerned about that one. This, of course, doesn't look straight at all. It's, there's an invisible hill here. You can't see it, but there's a hill there. Definitely. That's how this is going. So we're just going to move this guy up. I want to make that be snapping only to angle. How are we doing on that? That is definitely at a jaunty angle. Okay. So we're going to have to figure out where this ends up connecting in. And I want to bring this from the other side rather than going this direction. So we're going to need to come in from here. Bringing it in over here approximately. That's not quite where this ends up going. It's more like here. That's actually pretty close to straight. So that looks good. We'll bring this over to about here, 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 here. And then that does migrate our roundabout a little bit, but I'm okay with that. We can see, I mean, there's a correction going on here, right? So that's absolutely fine. We can then extend this guy out over this way, right out to the city limits. Not that anyone is really going to be traveling out there, but we'll just slap in a roundabout there, and that will do for the time being. Of course, we're going to have to do our ramps here. Not that that should be particularly challenging in this region. So that should be fine. We're going to bring this guy up and in, and then this guy out and down. Sure, it's mildly awkward, but, I mean, ramps always are. At least my ramps always are. So that's all okay. And then we'll bring this guy out and down, and then this guy up and in. Beautiful. That'll work. No left turns allowed, and next up is up over here. So that's going to be bringing this up and in, and then this one down and out. Cool. And then one more set of ramps in this area. Right up over here. Cool. That'll work for now. Okay, no left-hand turns, and we can let that develop. So that's going to eradicate our medium-density residential demand very, very quickly. Why is this area not being developed over here? Interesting. I guess they'll get to it, but they haven't gotten there yet. So that's absolutely fine. We got another meta block going out over here. I like it. We may want, now that we have a relatively straight highway over here, we think, we may want to check on that to see how straight this actually is. So let's lock this only to angle mode. And I want to take this out. Now, obviously, we don't want to actually build this out over this way, but I want to keep a bit of an eye on it, locking to angle, which is right there. That does look pretty straight, actually. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I don't want to actually build that. I just wanted to evaluate how straight that line actually was. So all things considered, not bad at all. Not bad at all. So we're going to need additional light residential eventually. We can see that these areas are starting to get developed, and the demand is holding firm-ish. We're probably going to need parks out over this way. I'm betting we don't have enough parks. Ooh, this is very laggy. Okay, noted. Let's put in a park here. A park here. A park here. That'll do for now. Excellent. And we can also think about something like crime. So looking at our crime here, it really doesn't look so bad. What about fire? Now, fire looks pretty good too, to be honest. We've got a little bit of fire hazard up in our industrial areas, but there's a fire station right there. And we've got our fire helicopter depot up there too. It should be relatively fine, all things considered. The main concern that I have right now is one of, well, mostly one of traffic, to be honest. We're going to have a pretty major traffic issue as we continue to develop here, and we're making a lot of money all of a sudden. So we might want to consider a tax cut, actually. We could do that. We are currently, I believe, on 5%. And we could bump this back down to the default, which is, I believe, at 4%. But we could maybe even sit this at 3%. If we were sitting this at 3%, what would that put us at for our income? Oh, this is fine. Absolutely fine. Yeah, we'll sit at 3%. Sounds good. So that'll make people happier. Ooh, an accident down over here causing a traffic jam? Yeah, that would make sense. We could definitely think about upgrading our highway sizes over here. That would help matters. So this would end up being upgraded to a 3-lane one-way highway, and that would be... Turn snapping on. Thank you. Yeah, right about here, here, and then here. This goes down to a 2-lane, and then we would 3-lane it up this way, right? Up until about this point. Yeah, and then this goes to a 3-lane here. So that all looks relatively good. This would have to be awkwardly budged over like this in order to upgrade similarly, but that's okay. We can do something kind of like that. And then this goes down to 2-lane, and then once these guys merge in, it goes back to a 3-lane. Just like that. So that'll give us a little bit more space here. I don't necessarily like the way that this positioned it. So we'll put that back for the moment, and let's see if we can move it. Yeah, that's a better positioning. Okay, so that opens up another lane in theory if they can get through there.
If it doesn't look to its past, well, I say
it looks like they can, but that's still going to cause issues. No doubt about it. This accident is going to cause... Oh my. What is this guy doing?
Industry in the region
that is a terrible way to navigate that accident. No doubt about it. But at least we now have a way for traffic to move through here, even if it's not a good way necessarily.
The commercial district is booming.
These accidents will, of course, eventually be taken care of. The police officer is already there, so that will get dealt with. As these lanes open up, it will get better. This traffic jam is fully expected in that scenario. So that seems fine. What else do we have going on in the city? Well, we have a little bit of commercial demand creeping up here. That's noted. And then there's also some low-density residential demand, which is, you know, normal. It turns out there's a lot of low-density residential demand, just in general. Okay, so we can just start working on bringing this section up. That'll end up being somewhere about here. I want to merge these together so that we no longer need to do these corrections. So I'm just going to work through on this road for the time being. And that's going to be something like that. And then we're going to bring this guy all the way up to here. These are not necessarily going to be exactly the right amounts. Did I say this was supposed to be 240? It's supposed to be 224. Okay, well, we're getting this correction done here. And now what I want to do is I want to bring this up to be basically right here. And we're going to snap this to angle only. And I want to make sure that we're getting correct angles out over this way. So we're just going to bring this up to 112. That is correct. And then this guy snaps over here. But you can see that's not a correct angle when we're angle snapped. What we actually need to be at is here. It's slightly different. So let's get the next one going here. 112 looks good. Angle snap that one. That's approximately correct. And then the next one would go up over here. Yep, that looks good. And this would be angle snapped to be out over this way. In theory, this should be a perfectly straight line. And if we build a road right here, this should perfectly bisect it. And it does. So that looks good. Next, we can connect up these roads. And these might not be entirely perfect angles. If they're not, that's okay, but they should be pretty close. Broadly. Yeah, they're definitely pretty close. So now we can take these roads straight on through. That'll be here, 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 and here. And then this one. City Skylines? Are you okay? That was interesting. I've never seen it do that before. It just stuck there and didn't update. Huh. That must be a little bug. I'm not sure how that triggered, and I highly doubt I could reproduce it. So, I guess we'll see if it reproduces itself. So that was relatively straight. That looks good. This Metablock side streets, or I guess small streets, are nearly complete. So we'll just bring that right on through to here. Okay. Next, we can bring our highways through, and that will be this guy right here, making sure to bring that up. And I want this to be, actually, yeah, snap to existing geometry and angle is about right. No, just angle at this point. So that's considered overlapping here, but what if we put the pillar there? Yeah, that's fine. No problem there. We'll just run that up ever so slightly. And then we've got this, right? And I want this to come out here and snap to angle this way. We know that this road is relatively straight in comparison. That doesn't feel straight, though. I honestly think it might be straighter if we come out from here. So that's, you know, mildly awkward. This is a little off to the side here. It's more centered here. I think that this section is actually not as straight as it could be. I think that's the problem there. We picked up a bit of an angle somewhere. I don't know where, but we picked it up somewhere. Let's grab from this position here. And we want to make sure that it's even from here. I'm actually going to remove the roundabout here for a moment. And I want to bring it up this way. Okay, there's a couple of different snap points here. I'm going to disconnect this for the moment. I want to bring this straight from this highway. What does that look like? That's got an angle to it. Okay. Noted. It felt straight when we did it previously, but that definitely had an angle to it. No doubt about it. If we take this up over to, say, here. Obviously, there's overlapping items here. But if we did that, I'm just trying to check to see what this ends up looking like in terms of how straight of a line it is. This feels relatively straight to me. Yes. Going by the zone grid, this is fairly straight. This is not, though, once we get up here. Look at that. So we get a bend about here. This happens because there's multiple straight snap points. And we may have picked up a 179-degree snap point at some point. This is much better. Yeah, the error was around here. So that looks good as far as that goes. Next, I want to find this connection point and look at bringing this just directly in here. So that comes back at 90 and 90. What if we snap this directly to the angle? That looks decent. Let's do it. It's not perfect, but it doesn't need to be. So that'll be absolutely fine for the moment, and then we can extend this out if I can grab the snap point for it. Wow. It really doesn't want to grab that snap point. That's exactly centered there. It really doesn't want to grab a snap point there. Okay. Well, let's get this reconnected for now. Hang on. Are we in a wrong mode or something? Oh, yeah, we are. I'm trying to build a road, not a highway. That'll do it. I'm dumb. Okay, so we're going to bring this in, and we're going to put that right there. Roundabout goes in. Perfect. Roundabout can go in here as well. No wonder it wouldn't center when we're trying to build something with a different number of lanes. And we'll just bring this in here. That'll be fine for now. Okay, so we'll call that good. Now we'll need to do our ramps, and ramps shouldn't be a problem in this area. On-ramp, and I don't like this. That's overlapping items, so maybe from around here. Off-ramp. Okay. Sure, that'll do. So no left-hand turns are allowed here or here. There we go. And then moving up over this way. Off-ramp. Ooh, that didn't actually go. Ah, pillar issue. Okay, that's fine. Move that in here, and oh, hello. This just happened again. This is very awkward. We can exit it. I'm not sure what exactly is happening there, but it's like it reads the mouse press on the left mouse button, but then not the mouse release. That's exactly what it's doing. Okay, this is the same behavior with the mouse press here, and then I release it. Yup. That might be an issue with my mouse. I have a new one on order, as I said. So that might not actually be a game issue. That might be a mouse issue. We're definitely having some issues with that. So we'll see. The mouse has shipped. So hopefully it shows up pretty soon. Okay, we're going to move this back over here. Cool. No left turns allowed. And one more set of these. So that'll go right here. Good. And good. No left turns. Perfect. So that'll be fine in this area. This is, of course, intended to be low-density residential. So that's just going to be something kind of like that. Okay, we should probably put in a park here while I'm thinking about it. That would tend to help. Okay, there we go. Beautiful. Has this cleaned up as of yet? It has cleaned up kind of in this area. Do we have space here to have 3 lanes? Seems like that's the reason why we didn't do this previously. We could if we budged it over this way. In a slightly awkward way. I mean, that definitely is slightly awkward. But I feel like it's also going to be beneficial for us. We could maybe change the waviness of it eventually. But what do we have going on up here? What are you guys doing? Just a random slowdown? I don't see any reason for it, so, I mean, this is a thing that happens. Like, in reality, there are just random slowdowns for absolutely no reason whatsoever. But in this case, it doesn't appear to be a problem. That should clean up no problem whatsoever. Cool. So the traffic jam that was caused by the accidents is dealt with. No problem. We figured that that would end up being the case. As of right now, there's nothing too major, but we're going to be hitting rush hour soon. And that is, of course, when we're going to be seeing the most amount of problems. So we'll keep an eye on that. It is, however, about time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to see about continuing to expand out over here. But this is not actually expanding, like they're not building here all that quickly. So that's good. We are very happy to see that. Hopefully we're going to see this satisfied soon. What is zoned over here? Is this low density? No, this is medium density housing. Okay. So this will need to get built up. This will need to get built up. This will need to get built up. That shouldn't take very long. And we'll see how that ends up going. We are definitely turning a decent amount of profit at this point. We could consider raising taxes and starting construction on our metro at a certain point. The question is, when is that point? And we'll find out. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Kentogan, Ali Lee, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.